because I love to be that person that delivers that, oh my gosh, moment in the morning where your kids are just freaking out because they know you would never buy them something like this, ever. I just die for that moment. And at the same time, my husband would die in that moment as well, as he's like doing the internal calculations as the kiddos are unwrapping their gifts. Hi there, welcome back to the Mind Your Boundaries podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Miller. This is episode number 6, and I'm so glad you're here because today we're talking about how do you get on the same page as your partner about the holidays, like the entire holiday season, how many events you go to, how many traditions you partake in, what's the budget for the gifts. We're going to talk about that today. And then once you figure out how you guys as a team want the holidays to look like, how do you set boundaries to support that seasonal vision? So I hope you're ready. Get your pen and paper out, because it's definitely going to be like a lot of nuggets that you can use. I'm going to have questions that you can ask each other, and I hope it's going to be very helpful in terms of providing you with a plan so that you have a lower stress holiday season. First, I wore this sweatshirt just for you. I went to change because I'm like, I'm basically in my workout clothes still, and I'm going to record this podcast episode. And then I'm like, no way. This is a great example that boundaries are woven into every area of our daily life. This is an example of a boundary that my husband, Ryan, set with me. So about a year ago, I was told I am no longer allowed to wear his sweatshirts because I've ruined them all. And you would have thought you told me the world was ending, because I live in his sweatshirts. There's just something so comforting and cozy about a worn, broken down sweatshirt. I just love it. So when he told me that, it was seriously just like heart smashing. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you have oil stains all over my sweatshirts and I wear them for work, and now it's just like not cool. Like everything I get, you wreck, and no more. I was really proud of him for setting the boundary, because he can be somebody that doesn't say anything. He just kind of deals with stuff. I respected it, because if he didn't set the boundary, because boundaries, remember, are to strengthen relationships, and he would have resented every single time he put on a sweatshirt and he looked in the mirror before he went out to train his clients, he would just be like, there's another oil stain, like a new oil droplet or whatever. So glad he set the boundary. And I'm a creature of habit. I love wearing men's worn out sweatshirts. I could just go buy my own sweatshirts in a men's large or extra large and keep doing what I'm doing. But I don't like new sweatshirts. I like used sweatshirts. So I went to the thrift store, and thankfully David dropped off his perfectly worn out sweatshirt there for me. And this is one of my favorite sweatshirts. That is why I wore this today, and I'm not dressed up at all, because I thought I would share that boundary story with you. Why do holiday boundaries matter? Well, not everybody defines holidays the same. Your partner may define the holidays in a more laid back fashion. Maybe they don't want to go to every invite. So every friend event, every family event, they might not want to do as many possible traditions like within your core family as possible in 30 days. That might not be their thing. They also might have a tighter idea for the budget. Maybe they don't want to create this ginormous wow factor on Christmas morning. Maybe they want to just be like, yay. And you're just like, I want fireworks. I want to go to all the things, and I want to see how many traditions I can cram into a 30-day period. See why it's important to talk and get on the same page? Resentment will build, because he'll either be dragging down your vibe, or he'll be resenting you for not respecting the fact that they need to recharge at some point. It's also really important to know, once you're on the same page, how to set boundaries to protect and support that vision of your season. Because this is just like treasured times. Like the traditions around the holidays, your kids and you will remember forever. And if you have people constantly asking to take your time for whatever reason, it can be a very fun experience. But if you also have these traditions you want to have as your core family, and you've decided as a couple, like, this is really important to us, you need to learn the art of saying no and setting boundaries around that to preserve that time. Because you're going to just disappoint somebody, either your Aunt Susie or yourself. And it sucks to live with disappointment and regret with yourself for years if you just keep it going. So trust me, that's why we're talking about this today, to get on the same page as a couple, but then also to set boundaries around that page that you guys have created to support it. In the comments, I want you to tell me, have you guys ever disagreed with your significant other about how the holiday should look? Is it how the budget is for the gifts? Is it how many events you go to, gatherings? Is it the traditions? I mean, what is it? And if you happen to come up with a solution or a compromise, I would love for you to share that as well, because it's just super helpful for people to see how others have worked through their stuff. My family is the type of family where we get together one time a year and we have a blast together, and then it's see you next year. Everyone's good with that cadence but me. I am a Hallmark freak. I want to be part of that movie set where they're going uptown to their little festivities and they see their family and they meet for the cookie contest and the gingerbread, whatever. I mean, it's just insane how much I wanted that. And it's just not my life. So I always have lived vicariously through Hallmark until I met and married Ryan. And he comes from a family that's completely opposite of mine. They get together. I used to joke, you guys would get together if someone lost a tooth, just as any excuse to get together and be a family and have fun together. And boy, that fun. And so I married into a family that was everything I always wanted in terms of getting together for the holidays. Lots like cookie bake-offs and just lots of different things they would get together and celebrate. And I said yes automatically, like a knee-jerk reaction to everything. Like, this is my festive fantasies coming to life. Little did I pay attention to, because I was so focused on finally having the family dynamic that I always wanted. My very introverted husband, was not doing well. Like, if he has back-to-back events where he doesn't get a chance to recharge, think Whoopi Goldberg in the movie Ghost, when the spirit leaves her and she's just like, oh, like completely drained, nothing left to her. I mean, he just turns into this handsome sloth, and he needs his recharge time. And when I was younger, and before we hit that peak that stage in a relationship that I'll talk about in just a second, where you deeply care about each other and you just want the other person to be happy, so you compromise. Before that stage, I was super selfish, and I just really wanted these traditions so badly for our family and for myself. And they always wanted us over there. And so his attitude and irritability and just grumpiness, it would grate on me, and we would fight. And I would tell him that his vibe was just bringing us all down. And it wasn't good. Finally, we reached a point where in a relationship, how it should work is you get to this place where you love each other on a completely different level. It's like, I care about your happiness more than my own. And when you both do that, it works. It's when you both are caring about the same person that does not work. Once we finally got to that place, that's when we were able to compromise on what we wanted the holidays to look like, what we wanted, how would it need to look to work out for my like Hallmark dream, and then also work for his introverted energy system. Like, he needs recharge time. So we got to work, figured out, our plan. And ever since then, once we started compromising and working together as a team, the holidays are just so much fun. And that's what I'm going to share with you, is like, how do you get on the same page and even the same money page? I know that that's a really touchy topic for couples, and because money is it's a volatile topic because it means different things to each person. But I'll dive into that in just a second. How do you even start the conversation of compromise? Well, what we did is we started big. We asked each other, what would your ideal holiday season look like? If you could pick without any consequences what you would do over the holidays, so the next 30 days, what would it look like? And then once you kind of have an idea of how far apart you are, that's when you start compromising and you get granular. How many events do you want to attend? Or gatherings? How many traditions do you want to be a part of? Like, what traditions are super important? How do we balance alone time or recharge time for our introverts and family time? And lastly, how do you get on the same budget page? All very, very, very good questions. And this is how you're going to get on the same page today. So if you've ever felt like the holidays are super stressful for you as a family, it's probably because you're not on the same page. But that ends today. So make sure you get out your pencil and you've wrote down those questions and pause it along the way. Let's say you get stuck on the number of family get-togethers. Maybe you have a family like his family and their Aunt Susie has a thing, their sister has a thing, their cousins have a thing, this other aunt has a thing, plus the grandma, plus the mom. I mean, there's a lot of things to attend, and that's just one side of the family. And then you have his dad or his paternal side. And then you have my side. Let's say you have a family like that and you're just like, I want to go to all the things. And your partner's like, I don't. How do you get on the same page with that? I want you to look at this problem on all sides. So don't just say all or nothing. Like, don't just say we're going to go to the main events and that's it. Let's say they want to go to 3, you say 5. What if you said, what if we don't stay the whole time? Maybe instead of 4 hours, we stay 90 minutes. What if they get to dip out early and take a kid or 2 home and you can just relax with your family and hang out? Like, think of creative ways to still make it work so you get your need for family time all met, but yet they also get their need for recharge time as well. Or maybe they just want to like relax. And maybe they're not even an introvert. Maybe they just want to relax. Who cares? Just figure out how to look at it creatively, not just black and white. Traditions. Ask yourself, how many traditions is it important where we're all together as a family? Like, you can't need him or her to be there for every night of baking cookies. Because if you're like me, we bake cookies basically, 14 days out of the 30. Like, if we don't have anything going on and we've done all the other things, we'll just bake a batch of cookies or 4. Like, it's just fun. And we've made it a rule that, or not a rule, but just there's an understanding that Ryan doesn't have to be a part of that. He can be in and out. He can come in, join us with some laughter, test some batter, grab some cookies, joke around with the kids. He can leave to keep going and hanging out, doing whatever he was doing, then come back. I mean, it's very relaxed. Then there's some traditions where he has to be involved. Gingerbreads, we all have a competition there. Looking at lights, like on Christmas Eve. Certain traditions you all have to be together for, and then there's traditions where it's okay if they sit out. So kind of figure that out, because there's a ton of traditions that can happen in the 30 days. Trust me. I do them all. And then I do them all again. For the alone time and family time, even if you're not an introvert, if you give your introvert, like if you say, I'll protect 3 to 5 hours of alone time for you a week, you also have to take that. So even if you don't need it to recharge, you still need it for scrolling on TikTok, just managing your own health, whatever you want to do. You need that as well. Otherwise, you guys will start to resent each other. So make sure once you set the hours or the time and you schedule it, you respect it like it's a dermatology appointment. Protect it. Budget. Okay, if you're listening to this and the kids are in the car or the kids are within earshot, you need to pause this and come back to it when you are alone and kid-free. Money is a tricky thing to talk about in marriage in general because money means different things to every single person. For me, money means freedom and fun. It helps me provide experiences and make memories and just surprise and delight my family. That's what money means to me. I work for experiences. My husband money means something completely different for him. It means safety and security and certainty that he can take care of his family. It's very important that he has enough money in his little nest. And those things did not match for a very long time, especially around the holidays. Because I love to be that person that delivers that, oh my gosh, moment in the morning where your kids are just freaking out because they know you would never buy them something like this, ever. And yet Santa does. And I just die for that moment. And at the same time, my husband would die in that moment as well, as he's like doing the internal calculations as the kiddos are unwrapping their gifts. So it was never a fun time completely, because I would be so in the moment with my kids, but I would also be able to see see Ryan over there just calculating and just kind of feeling betrayed by me, because he thought I understood what money meant to him. He thought by saying, like, maybe we should have a budget, like that was enough to say, like, I'm really uncomfortable with this. This makes me worried. It wasn't. Obviously, it wasn't enough for me. But once we did get on the same money page, that was an interesting year. So how do you get on the same money page? Okay, the first question you need to ask your partner, and you need to share it with them, is, what does money mean to you? Does money mean freedom? Does money mean safety, security? What does it mean? And then once you know each other's understanding, like you understand each other on a deeper level, that's when you can come together and figure out, how can we honor both? Like, that was once Ryan and I realized, okay, so this is what money means to me. He doesn't want to make me feel imprisoned. And this is what money means to him. I don't want to make him feel worried. How can we overlap them so that we both get our needs met and we respect each other's definitions without squashing the other person? Then you could also ask, what does Christmas morning, like, why is it so important that this big thing get put on? Like, you're a Kardashian putting on a birthday party for a toddler. That's the image I want you to think of right now. If you've ever seen like those extravagant events, like maybe that's what you do every year. Answer the question, like, why is that so important to you? Was there something that you didn't get in your childhood? Are you trying to make up for something? Is that just like your love language? What is it? Just kind of dig deep, have a conversation with your partner. Why is the Christmas morning thing so important to you? So have these deeper conversations, but the main one is, what does money mean to you? And that will help you get together, understand each other, overlap it while respecting each other's definition. The first year we did Christmas on a budget, I was so nervous because our kids were expecting a certain type of Christmas morning. And so I had to prepare them, like, it's going to be different this year. We were going to do things different this year. We wanted to downsize to make it more special and intimate, and it was getting too out of control, and really trying to prepare them. And instead of like fireworks, it was sparklers, like the big giant ones, not just the little ones, but it was definitely not fireworks. And I was really worried. And yes, they were like, kids are kids. They were bummed a little bit and just like, oh, which is fine. But one thing I will commend our son, James, he said, when he was playing with that like little hovery, what are those things called? That drones, like the little hovery light up ball drone that you could do, like zero gravity thing. When he's playing with that, he goes, because I have less, I'm really focusing on the toys that I do have. So I do like that. And he goes, I always want to have more toys, but that is one good thing about this. So he was so sweet at such a young age to even be able to describe that. But I will tell you, if you are the person that overspends and then feels awful when you get that bill, or just feels awful because you do it every year just for the name of doing it, and then you fight with your partner, that after I got over the kids having large sparklers and not fireworks, that was the best Christmas morning I had to date, because I didn't have to worry the entire time about Ryan calculating up all the gifts in his head. It was just like he had fun, because we made their Christmas list together. We went shopping together. We wrapped their gifts together. It was a completely different experience. And and we've never gone back. I love it. And I'm really glad that we had that talk and we're on the same money page. How about you? Have you ever had disagreements about the holiday budget? And if so, if you figured out how to navigate this, definitely let us know in the comments, because I really think it's good to share, this is us too. And it's good to say this was us too, and this is what we did to work together. Now that you know what you want the holidays to look like as a unit or as a family, you now know what boundaries you need to support this festive idea, this festive vision or seasonal vision. And it's going to start with how many gatherings you're going to attend and the art of saying no. So for me, I love to decorate my house like a Hallmark set and then have my family over, play a white elephant gift game, and just have fun together. I've always wanted to get together more often than one time a year, and so I set that up. Not everybody can attend. Like, people are just busy, and I'm not the important matriarch in our family, in terms of priority. And so if they can come, they can come. But I definitely don't take offense if my brother is like, oh, thanks, but it's just been a busy work week. We need to just chill in our bed tonight. We're not going to come. And I'm just like, okay, am I disappointed? Hell yeah. They're fun. They're so much fun, and I want them there. And I still love them just the same. So you can be disappointed, and always remember, my car just shut off, so the steering wheel went way up. Always remember, you can feel disappointed and still love someone at the same time. And so do your loved ones. They can feel disappointed and still love you. So when you have to decline, just comfort yourself and soothe that boundary guilt by saying, yes, I know that they're disappointed and I still know that they love me. Another boundary is respecting the downtime that you guys set in place. So if it is 3 hours a week where you each get to do whatever you want, and your brother happens to call on the night that your husband is taking his alone time, you need to say, yeah, Danny is busy, but the kids and I will be over at 5. Thanks so much. Protect it. Trust me. Just protect it, and you will see how much trust that builds with your partner or between you guys. You'll feel so taken care of when they do the same as well. So make sure you respect the alone time. That's another boundary. Budget. What if you set a budget, not only for your kids, but you're also part of a family that still shops for each other? So whether it's your aunts, your nieces and nephews, your parents, your siblings, you all still shop for each other. And it's a lot because the family just keeps growing. Maybe you guys have decided as a couple, it's got to change. If we want a low stress or a stress-free holiday season, stress-free-ish, we need to decrease the amount of money we spend because it's too much. So let's say the budget is a big talk and you don't know how to even start the conversation with your family that still does gifts. You could suggest drawing names. So then maybe you just have one person to buy for. You could do a white elephant gift game and have themes throughout the years. So transition your family into that. You can decide, you know what, guys, let's just buy gifts for the kids and skip the adults now. You could just be transparent and say, hey guys, this is getting a lot. We want to follow a budget this year. And P.S., I'm going to feel like an absolute jerk if you buy for me and I don't buy for you. So please don't buy for me. And then always remember, the whole thing of gift giving is how you make, how it makes you feel, when you give the gift. So even if you do get a gift after you don't buy somebody else, just accept it graciously and just know that you just made the person that gave you the gift feel really good. The last thing you could do is make homemade gifts. There's nothing better than something homemade. The best, most meaningful gift I got. As a therapist, you are encouraged to not accept gifts from clients. However, you need to be curious about the gift. You can't just say, no, I can't accept that, because that could hurt your relationship. One year, I received 2 ornaments, like 2 shatterproof ornaments that you would get in, one of those buckets that you get from the store that has 50 to 100 ornaments in it. So there were 2 purple ornaments and just small basic things. And it was the sweetest thing. And when I hang them on my tree, I always, like at the office, I always think of this client. And I just remember thinking when I got that gift, like, this is the coolest thing. It was just so mean. It was such a small thing, but when you use it every year, you think of them. I don't know. And that would be such a cool gift idea because it's such a low price gift item. But then every year when they're putting their ornaments on their tree, they think of you. If you have navigated a family that does a bunch of gifting and then you guys have shifted to not buying gifts for everybody because the family just keeps expanding, please share how you did it. It's so helpful knowing how other people have been able to do it successfully. So definitely comment below if you've already went through this and how you did it. Okay, so let's recap. Today we've talked about how to get on the same page with your partner around the holidays to have a low stress holiday season. And if you want to have just harmonious holidays, you have to talk about, what does your ideal season even look like? How many gatherings do you want to go to? How many family traditions can we honestly cram in 30 days that makes us still feel good? How do we balance alone time versus family time and really honor each other's personalities, like introverts versus extroverts? And then also, do we need a family budget and that money talk? All those things should be part of your discussion when you're trying to get on the same page for the holiday season. And then lastly, once you're on the same page, now you know what boundaries you set. You know which invites to turn down because you already know which parties you're going to attend or which gatherings. You already know what traditions not to push. You know what alone time to protect, like you're going to the dermatologist. And now you also know what you want to possibly talk about with your family in terms of budget. I hope this has been helpful. I know the holidays can be super magical. I also know they can be unnecessarily stressful. And I want to try to help you take the stress out of it by setting the boundaries you need. And hopefully this has been like value packed and you've taken some notes. Next time, we are going to talk about how do you set boundaries with difficult people? Because there are people in our lives that are sensitive, that need fragile handle with care, that feel like takers, and we still need to set boundaries. How do you do that? That's what we're going to talk about next time. So hopefully you tune in, and until we meet again, make sure you mind your boundaries.